Is it hard to be in a committed relationship while you're active duty military?
Is it hard? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's tough. Absolutely. It's tough. Can it be done? Absolutely. We see it every day. I just think you got to stand on what I believe to be the 4 key principles, right? Let me go back to the notes, man. Listen, because this is a topic I love. So one of these principles is communication.
Facts.
Right? Now, it's so easy. It's so straightforward to just say communication. But that's communicating to be heard, to understand, and to also to seek understanding, seek clarity.
I'm with it.
Pimpin'.
What it do?
Boots in the Bag, episode 4. Mars, Reem. We excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure.
We getting down to the nitty gritty. We got to talk relationships with the military.
Oh, yeah. We all know it's very hard to sustain committed relationships. And
when would you consider like serious relationships? Because you can't say like when I was 15, like that's not a serious relationship. So when you say like this age or this time, this is where things got serious.
A serious relationship, in my opinion, is where you paying some bills and you maintaining your own crib, right? So if you in your own crib and you controlling everything that moves in and out that crib, and you allow someone else to come into your space, I feel like that is in the realms. That's when we start talking about serious relationships. Obviously, you can still date and flirt and all that stuff, but yeah, serious relationships definitely got your own. You doing it.
What if I'm in the barracks?
You can't handle that. I mean, unless shorty or dude has their own spot, but like it don't really click. It don't really, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing to lose for real. I feel like serious relationship, you have to wager something. Like you got something to lose, like your sanity and your place of rest. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
in my opinion,
my barracks love don't count.
Nah,
that's
that
crazy.
Air mattress love don't count.
What? What about the A school love?
Hell no. Hell no, man. Let me tell you, bro. That to me is one of the most toxic things to get into in the military. Out of basic training or your, school, your strand, you get into those relationships right out of that, period of being alone and not having a companion. Yo, the worst thing you could do is hook up with somebody after that time frame. It's toxic. It's not going to end well for you.
I feel attacked. If you feel attacked, comment down. If you're watching this on YouTube.
It don't work.
If you listen to this on Apple Podcasts.
All right, Sway. No, right, we about to get into something. Did you jump into a relationship right out of A school basic?
Absolutely.
What happened?
Absolutely.
Let's do a where they at now. Where are they at now?
Absolutely. So, all right. So, yes, I jumped into a relationship in A school. Well, you can't say it was a relationship in A school, but it was definitely kindling. At that time, I was into football, NFL, all that good jazz, and I was a Giants fan. She was an Eagles fan. We met watching the game. Yeah.
Shout out to the G, man.
We met watching the game, talking crap to each other, and then just started kind of like talking, texting, kicking it. And then it was kind of like in my head, when I got orders and I left A school, it was like, well, you do your thing. This is this. I get with you later, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I want to say like 2-3 months later, I see like they would put like the muster report on the door and it'll let you know the prospective games.
Yeah.
And I seen a name up there and I was like, what the hell? Matter of fact, that's not even when I seen it. It was on Facebook and she said she had orders. And I'm in the comments because I was about to comment, but I see she told somebody I got orders to such and such command. I was like,
yo, that's your command.
Then I get to work and see she's in my division.
Can you zoom in? Do the little horror face zoom in. Yo, okay, let's talk about it. Okay, I know we got a whole segment, but let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So you had shorty in basic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so boom, right after basic, y'all get to the same command.
Not basic, A school.
A school, my bad. Yeah. So what happens?
So we get to the same command. Pretty much pick up right off where we left. So it's like, all right, we link up, we hanging out, boom, 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 whoop-de-woo, and then we make it quote unquote official. You know what I mean? So I'm with you, you with me. You know what I mean? And
I'm not saying nothing. I make it official. Okay.
That was a mighty.
Yeah. Y'all didn't even have time to let the water seep down into the soil to even begin to plant the seeds for a relationship. You feel what I'm saying? Like, okay, so y'all made it official. First command. Now, I want y'all to take note. If y'all thinking of doing this, don't do it. Keep going. So, all right, first command. Let's go. How do we get here?
All right. Yeah. So like I said, just kind of link up, continue on and everything. And then once we made it official, it's just kind of like we work together. I mean, we do our thing outside of work, whatever. But, I'm 18. She was 18 as well. Mm-hmm. And it was just, hindsight is like, man, I could not do it again. I would not do it again.
Where did y'all go wrong? What do you think? Is it like a personal, like some qualities in her that you didn't realize at the beginning, or was it like?
Of course. Now we ain't gonna dive into
Nah. Yeah, right. Well, the premise is right. So, out of A school, if you meet someone of the opposite sex and y'all decide to get into a relationship, dating is cool, but you can't really, my issue is when people get married right out of that phase, right? Because you don't really know that person. And you're talking from a point of, let's be frank, a horniness. You ain't had none in about 2-3 months, and it feels good to, to hang out with something that's familiar. And so you get caught in that phase, that vicious circle. But like, it's not the smartest thing in the world. And I don't think I've seen many professions where that happens as frequent as it does in the military, right? I don't really know the numbers like the nursing programs and stuff like that. But right out of A school, in a situation where you're with the opposite sex, but it's still y'all not really in close quarters. Like, you know what I'm saying? That y'all just focus on training. So you don't really know that person. So getting married right after that and having a committed relationship.
I would also say, when you're talking about specifically like getting into a committed relationship or getting married straight after A school, your first year in the military, when you are around the 18, 19, 20-year-old range, I would say wait. Wait, not because there's way more fish in the sea that you got to see, because that's oftentimes what people say, but wait because you have so much more maturing to do, so much more experience. Like we was talking before we went live, as a man, you should have majority of your vision set up.
Yeah, we're expected to.
Before you get into a committed relationship.
Mm-hmm.
At 18, 19, 20, we all know that's not the case.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're an actor, you got bread, you got money, that doesn't account for the maturity aspect or the experience aspect.
Right.
So it's not about money here. It's really about having vision, having understanding of what you want to accomplish and where you want to be, and having all of that stuff, if not most of it.
Right. Just ideally, right? Like I know it may fall on deaf ears, but ideally you do want to wait to get yourself involved in a committed relationship. That's really good. So that brings me to my first point.
All right, let's talk about it.
Is it hard to be in a committed relationship while you're active duty military?
Man, so I knew, this what the episode was going to be about. So I posed this question to the public, and let me get to my screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
And I got some good feedback back.
Word.
I got some good feedback. So let me post to y'all. Some people said, so one person said, Yeah, been doing it for 14 years. Got a positive mindset. Somebody said yep. Another person said yes. Person who said yep, I know him, and he's actually PCS overseas right now. His lady is stateside. Person that said yes served over 20 years and retired now. Married, same person. Another person, I'm not sure if she married or not, but she said you can if you both put in the work. So we're gonna get into that one.
Yeah.
Another person said I doubt it.
Mm.
And then another person said absolutely, all caps. It's the person, not the job.
Word.
I like that. So 2 of those responses I like. And then let's go to my Instagram real quick. At the time of this screenshot, Instagram, 50 people have viewed my story. One of y'all, the only one. It was only one of y'all that decided to answer the question. What is going on? Take 2 seconds to respond to the.
Yeah, because they don't know. Some people may not know.
Yeah. But this one person on Instagram was like, no, with sad face emoji. Oh. But I know this person BSing. they messing with me because they in a committed relationship right now.
Man, you better check on them. Maybe they are and the other person ain't.
Oh,
man. Maybe. Yeah. So what do you think? How do you?
Is it hard? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's tough. Absolutely. It's tough. Can it be done? Absolutely. We see it every day. I just think you got to stand on what I believe to be the 4 key principles, right? Let me go back to the notes, man. Listen, because this is a topic I love. So one of these principles, communication.
Facts.
Right? Now, it's so easy. It's so straightforward to just say communication. But that's communicating to be heard, to understand, and to also to seek understanding, seek clarity. A lot of times when people communicating amongst peers, they just want them to be heard, and that's it.
Yeah.
I just want you to hear my side.
Get my point across, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's your other 4? You say you got 4.
All right. So then, what happened?
4 keys to a successful relationship, committed relationship.
I got you. So 1 is communication.
Right.
1 is understanding, right? So I know I just talked about it with understanding and communicating.
My bad.
So understanding in a sense of always giving grace to the other side to see it from their perspective. More eyes, more we's, less you's.
Wait, are you asking for both parties to take responsibility? That's a good one. Oh, okay.
We know that's rare. It was one of the genders.
We ain't gonna say no name.
So then, number 3, self-sufficiency. You have to be, and this is outside of relationships, period. You have to be somebody that you're sufficient by yourself. You don't need anybody per se. You enjoy your spouse. You love them. You need them to a certain extent. But to like actually like physically, I can't live without you and I will kill myself. No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
To piggyback on that, if you will.
Oh my God.
Yes, a military term on the military podcast. But anyway, to tap in on that, my wife told me, she said, I shouldn't be the source of your happiness, right? You have to have your own happiness and come in, and I should add to it, right? Now, I know she heard it off TikTok, but that doesn't negate the fact that it's true. Prior to the relationship, I probably was looking for the woman to give me everything I need. She has to be A, B, C, D. But it won't work if I'm not happy with myself internally. So self-sufficiency. Amen to that.
That's what I'm talking about. And I mean, what that looked like, because I want to give you clear blueprint. What that looked like is taking time to figure out what you love about you and emphasizing that stuff. Excuse me. So from the better part of 2018 all the way until about 2021, I had done so many different hobbies, photography, videography, personal training, nutritionist, all of these things to figure out what I like. And in the process of learning that, all that stuff, because there's a whole bunch of stuff I didn't name, I learned what I like, what I didn't like. I learned so much about myself. I found and I sought out happiness and solitude. Being single for a long amount of time, and just being happy, taking myself on dates. I don't know if you ever did that.
Yeah. It's lonely, dog.
Nah, that's not long.
It's long. Some people, I be looking like, yo, this dude's a psychopath in the movie theater eating popcorn by himself. Look at this creep. Yeah.
Getting dressed.
You're weird.
Getting fly.
You're weird.
You know what I mean?
By yourself. Waiter. Me and my companion went like that. Is this person never coming, sir? You're holding up. But nah, I agree, right? I agree to a certain extent, right? You do have to do things by yourself to figure out yourself, what you like and dislike and all, all that jazz. But, right, I see a trend of self-gratitude to the point where, how do I say this without getting in trouble? There's a certain demographic of people, certain people who are so in love with themselves that, like, you in the mix is just like, you a nuance, right? You're like something to do. You see it. You watch on. You go on. Put on IG. Turn on IG. Turn on Facebook. And the narcissism is very real in today's day and age.
Narcissism.
Very real.
Yep, for real. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. So yeah, you gotta have a balance, right? So you can't be super narcissistic and be in a relationship.
Can't be narcissistic at all.
We're not saying self-sufficient. We're to the point where you don't. Like, you just cocky, don't need nobody, and that's the way it is. Because you're not going to be in a committed relationship because the person's not going to want to be with you.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And then, fourth thing, what I like to call a unifying security. And what that is pretty much just trust. You know what I mean? Unconditional trust. Because when you are in the military, and you're in a relationship, or you're married, at a certain point, deployments will come up. And that is 6 to 9, 10 months away from your loved one. And you are going to have to trust each other. But the trust has to be unifying. It has to be team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes without saying. There could be no BS going on. What you about to say?
Now, what I will say, though, the trust thing is built, right? I learned, you should always give trust, off rip. But you learn to trust people because we got to think a lot of us come from different walks of life, right? Different experiences, different traumas, things that make us who we are. So trusting for a lot of people is very hard. I know it was hard for me, and I ain't never really been, messed over in a relationship. It's just from, my upbringing. But one thing I had to learn, I wanted to go actually talk to the psych because I knew that the foundation for a lot of my errors were from lack of trust, because I've seen the dirt been done to, so many people while I was in the military. I've been on deployments and I've seen husbands and wives out there acting out of character, and while I was in committed relationships, I did my thing too, what I'm saying, sometimes. But I thought that marriage is a sacred ground. Like, if you get married, you tie the knot. Like, that's where all the, jokes stop for me and my culture, my upbringing, right? But realizing that just because I had that upbringing and that thought, that wasn't right, so I had to go unpack my stuff. So the trust thing for me came hard, right? I had to build it up. But that doesn't look like going through the phone. That isn't like stalking the Facebook page, right? It's actually giving that person grace, right? Because people do mess up. Now, I'm not saying allow your spouse to do whatever the heck they want, right? But don't go into a relationship assuming that they're going to mess up.
Man, so you said giving grace, right? So all 2022, I practiced giving grace before giving hate. And it is a skill. How many times somebody do something, somebody say something, your kids, or, a coworker or whatever, and you just jump straight to hate. You jump straight to...
You gotta let them know sometimes, right?
You know what I mean? Now, of course, absolutely. Let them know sometimes, but more times than others, give grace. If somebody coming to work with an attitude... Are you okay? Is that everything all right at home? Because, I know you to be better than this, but it seemed like something going on. Have that same type of energy in your relationship. Don't feel like she left a sock in the hallway there to piss you off. That's
Whoa, that boy. Hold on 1 second. I'm unpacking. Shataralaboso. Oh. He said a word, right? Hold on. Because, excuse me, yo, and it's crazy. I don't even have that thought process where it happens like that. Like, I don't go into, man, she did this to piss me off. It's like, she did this and it pissed me off. right? And so I come at it like, why did you leave this sock in the hallway? Like, you seen it, pick it up. And I'm working on that in myself right now as we speak, because I am not a founder of giving grace.
Gotta get a grace, man.
Yeah, you got to though. Oh man, that's a word.
I got you, man. Got you. I got them all night, man. All night.
Yes. You have any more fundamentals of?
Nah.
Yeah.
That was
the four.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Let's talk about long distance relationships. We touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But we said, deployments come up, faith and communication, definitely pillars. Do you think they're sustainable? Long distance relationships are sustainable in the military?
Let me ask you this question. Have you ever did one?
Nah.
Why not? Like, were you being deliberate and not doing, like, did the opportunity ever come up and it was like?
Yeah, I had a fine Nicaraguan queen out in Florida. I put this on everything I love. We met and we bailated at this dance on the beach, right? For my viewers watching this, I got proof and I have records that this happened. Nah, but yeah, she had a flower shop in Maryland, and she was moving to Cali. She was talking about joining the military too. She was 4 years older. I thought I was in love, But when I went back home, because I was in Miami for a vacation. When I went back home, and Virginia hit me, and I'm like, okay, Maryland ain't that far of a travel. It's right up the street. I could do it. But Cali, the more and more we started talking, the Cali move became imminent. It was gonna happen, and I was like, yeah, this is where the trust factor. If I would went through psychology before, the psych, I would have probably did the relationship. But at the time, right, I ain't had no time. Like, I just, bruh, not me. So no, I haven't been in a long distance relationship.
All right, so I did.
Damn, this is 2 for 2 now.
Man, listen, man.
Straight out of A school and long distance relationship. God. Okay.
Yeah. So, man. All right. So, let me see. What year is it? It's 20. What is it? 2017.
I'm sorry.
It's 2017.
Older people. You're not even that old, but we like to try to get the date. It was 1990. No, because that's the year I played the numbers, so it was not. Yep, that's
yeah, bro. Because I believe, right? If you're a fella, you understand what I'm about to say. Ladies, try to understand. Whenever you play like Madden or 2K, you could play like with the '88 Lakers. You could play with the '92
eras
Bulls.
matter. Yeah, eras matter.
You know what I mean? So like, 2017 Mars.
Set the stage, right? Set the stage. What song was out? Give me.
2017. I don't know. We had just came off that 2016 deployment, Dubai. We just came off. It was that January.
Yeah.
Bad and Bougie had just dropped when we got back in January.
Okay,
Bad and Bougie was going crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that is my styrofoam. No, get my mind. That may have been the summer of that 2016.
Was that March Madness came?
Yeah, I think March Madness was out.
I gotta say.
That was a wow.
I'm telling you. You gotta listen. Yeah. You have to remember the years, man. Because when you look back, like, you gotta look at yourself like a player in a video game. Like, well, I'm telling you, 2020 March.
I was a 94 back in 2016. A rating. If you rated me with NBA skill, I was a 94 rating right now. I'm an 88 right now. That was a height.
March Madness was 2015. So
oh my God.
Yeah.
That was off the mark.
Nah, you good.
They was playing in the club though.
But I went on a trip to Cali with some homies and homegirl, and my homegirl lived there at the time, and it was her friend. You know what I mean? And kind of hit it off a little bit. Real quick, while I'm thinking about it, I got a history of like not being attracted to the women that I end up dating initially. Is that funny?
I think that's the law of attraction, dog.
You think so?
That's the root of the law of attraction, right?
Because in the process of thinking about it just now, like the first couple of days I was there, I was like, what the hell? But then as time went, it was like, okay.
Yeah, I could do
okay. It. But yeah, we met on that vacation, kind of hit it off a little bit, kept in contact. And then in the process of keeping in contact, things became serious. So if I had to break down long distance relationships, to two separate things. You got A being we met at a long distance, like I'm in Virginia, that she's in Cali or he's in Cali, whoever, and now we're trying to build a foundation from long distance. Then you have long distance B, which is we met together in the same state and we got 6 months, a year, 2 years in, and now one of us is about to deploy or somebody is about to take a position, like a better position in a different state, something like that for a short amount of time, right? So we're talking about long distance A. How did it go? It was pretty good starting off. Eventually she moved to Virginia, and for the better part of 8 months, everything was good until it wasn't.
Right. So from the long distance standpoint, though, it wasn't really no issues dating in different area codes. Or probably minimal.
Yeah, it's a big difference because when you building that foundation, being physically in each other's presence is important. It's important. Now, I will say, because we didn't have the physical aspect, other aspects were strong. Like, we could talk about a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? We could be on the phone for hours and not say anything and just enjoy each other's presence in that manner. Or whatever, but you don't get the opportunity to see how somebody lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm on my way to your house and I get to your house is dirty. If we just met and I get to your place dirty, your air mattress is on the floor.
Oh man. Don't hate on the air mattress though.
Don't
hate on the air mattress.
How long you been living in this apartment?
Right. Hey, don't hate. But look, so I just picked up, you said that while y'all were apart, a lot of other things were stronger.
Yeah.
Right. So like y'all communication, did that stuff change when y'all got closer together?
It did, right? So what I like to call the cupcake stage. Whether it's the first 6 months or the first year, everything is amazing.
Yeah. You laying on top of the refrigerator talking?
Nah, I mean,
yeah, right.
you vacuuming right. The roof,
right?
Hey, what you up to? I mean, the cupcake stage.
Yeah,
everything was good. So the communication was probably good, and that's the reason why. But when that first storm comes, good Lord, I need water.
Right.
When that first storm comes, that's when stuff started getting exposed. You know what I mean?
Bad. Like what? Give me a first storm.
First storm. All right. Let me see. Like I had an issue with something in a relationship, and I brought it to her attention respectfully. Like I'm not. At that time, I probably was the type to hold stuff in and then explode at the last moment. But I know, with a clear memory, I had communicated things to her several times. But all I would get in return was like okay. So it was like I wasn't getting any like reciprocity.
Yeah. That's tough.
Go ahead.
Nah. So you said you communicated with her, right? And I'm not trying to go crazy deep with her. So you communicated with her, right? Right. You communicated with her what was wrong. She just brushed it off, and you felt like that was like the chain reaction to all the other stuff that came up.
Yeah. Right. I'm happy you put it that way. So we say don't sweat the small things, right?
Yeah.
When the small things are there and you're not sweating them, they're still there, right? So when something comes along and it knocks the first domino down, now all those small things are big things now.
Right.
Never thought about it in that way.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with the whole, being apart, like being away, right? So you're in a relationship, right? The stuff that's not put under a microscope will get amplified when y'all living together.
What up?
Right? In the same, like, y'all can't see each other. Yeah, y'all ain't physically touching, but the stuff that she goes out at 9 and doesn't answer until 6 the next morning. And she was asleep, right? Or he was asleep, but, that stuff starts happening. Y'all in the same zip code and you pull up and the car's in the driveway. Like, a whole bunch of dominoes start falling. So, like, I think you do have to have some tact while doing a long distance relationship, and it's a learned skill because you need it while you're in the military, because at one point in time, if you stay in long enough, you will have to encounter a long distance relationship, right? Be it deployments, special duties and assignments, trainings. So that stuff does happen, man.
Yep.
And I can tell you by the best information or the best advice I can get anybody doing a long distance relationship is if you can.
Don't. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you can, right, convey and communicate clearly, and I'm not just talking to text messages and emails. You need to have, like, if you can, FaceTime, if you can, phone calls, and convey what you need to convey to the person clearly and precise so that nothing's misconstrued. It does take strong people to make a long distance. And you notice I said people, not person. It takes strong people to make a long distance relationship work.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
All right. You got any something you want to add on to the
I
long
would say,
distance?
like I said, there's a difference. You got long distance A, long distance B.
Mm-hmm.
Try to stand clear of long distance A.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being honest. If y'all can't build that foundation, like, with each other before having your first long distance thing, then I don't recommend it. That's just me. Can you make it work? Absolutely. People make it work all the time.
So you saying by vacation in Miami 2 weeks, I meet a chick. Don't do that long distance relationship. Or I'm on a boat deployment 6 months. I meet a boat boo. Don't do that. Like she's squadron from Cali, and
that's a good perspective. Yeah, I would, man. Me personally, I say don't do it, man. Don't do it. It's just unnecessary stress on both of y'all.
For sure.
Matter of fact, man, listen, man. How many junior sailors have you seen? Yo, if you're in the Army, you're in the Air Force or the Marines, comment. Let us know what y'all see too, because you see a lot of these junior sailors. They come in like, you go on your first deployment and they meet a woman or a man foreign, and now they like, man, I'm trying to do all I can to get them the green card, get them here. I done seen the bad and I've seen the good. Never forget this in my life. My man met somebody in the Philippines, met a lady in the Philippines, and they got married, and he was going through hell and high water trying to get her to America. I'll never forget this. He get the notification by email that she finally able to come. Right. My man jump up, start crying, made me cry. I ain't even gonna front. That's like the 1% right now. That's the 1%. Everything else, don't do it. Man.
Right. Tool belts, pit bulls. All right. Construction worker, hard hats. All right. I ain't crying. All right.
For real.
Yeah. So what happened though? Like, that work? They still together?
Yeah.
Nah, they divorced. Man.
Nah, you better not.
Everybody knows the recipe, right? For military advancement, right? Like, in order to get from E6 to E7, you gotta be on your second marriage and
that's crazy.
DUI. That's like a stigma for real in the military.
That's a stigma.
Yeah. Going into the next part, like, do you think marriage is possible while active duty? And I can speak to what I've seen. It's possible, right? And I know I'm asking the question, and y'all comment, right, if you believe it is or it isn't. But I've also seen where it takes people 2 to 3 to 4 marriages to go through to actually acclimate to that whole marriage life, right? And there's a whole bunch of factors. But do you think marriage is doable while active duty?
Of course it's doable. We see it every day. Would I recommend it? Half a star. Wouldn't I recommend? Ooh. Stay away from the restaurant. Nah, if you're on active duty, right? Let's talk facts.
Right.
If you're on active duty, you got long working hours.
Facts.
And the working hours could be 07 to 1600, but we all know if Chief don't want you going home, you're not going home. Mm-hmm. You're not going home.
Yeah.
I done heard it before. I could get the CO to approve working hours until 2100. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think there's so many obstacles already with being active duty. Just, I would say wait. Or I would say wait until you're either like A higher rank, or B out or in the reserves.
Yeah. I can kind of agree with that, right? Like, if you get into a relationship and you thinking marriage is the best option, financially, spiritually, together, I think you should wait until you get like till you get grounded, right? I'm not necessarily saying E6,
I like
E7.
that. I like that.
You get grounded.
Yeah,
you understand,
that's
your rotations and where your PCSs may lead you, because it is a rigorous path, right? Marriage ain't for the faint of heart, right? It ain't for the weak. You gotta be two strong people joined together at the hip, and they have to have understanding, complete understanding, without wavering of faith, right? That's all that's what it requires to be married while you active duty. One thing I will say, right? There are different modes and different levels of stressors acting on marriage, right? So like shore duty is cake. You may think you could do it forever, right? You can do the military thing forever. That's how they get you to sign back up and re-up in the military, right? You go to your shore duty, you getting off 10, 11, 12, right? I can do another 5 years and your ass goes right back to that sea duty. I don't know how it is for the Marines and Air Force, but Navy, we do a sea-shore rotation, right? And normally, that's sea rotation, that's how they get you, boy. They get their money's worth. The Navy is going to get hers, right?
Like
and so going through that, 5 years for some rates, for a lot of rates. And during that time, you are spending very minimal time working on your family and on yourself, for that matter. And it puts a lot of stress on your spouse. That's why when they re-up while they're on sea duty, I think they do it on shore duty too. They get a spouse a letter of appreciation, like thank you for giving because it is stressful, yo. It is stressful. It is bad.
Man, I had something I was gonna say.
My bad.
No, you good. I had something. I can't. You. One thing I did think of, you was like shore duty. You getting off 11. I ain't get off no 11 on shore duty.
You chose the wrong station.
Man,
you got to choose better, my brother. I'm talking about. I went to 2 shore commands now where I talked to people before. I'm like, all right.
I thought I did all that, but it was just
you went to Port Ops.
Matter of fact, no. So yeah, I did go to Port Ops.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I feel like every time I go somewhere, I'm a part of this like new let's be amazing department.
I know what you heard before you came in, but all that is out the window.
I don't want to do that. Like I got to Port Ops, and the Divo that was there, she was on her way out of the Navy, retiring. So she real lax. I'm like, all right, good. This is good. This is good. The new Divo that come now, listen, we about to paint all over this base. Damn. I need y'all to be doing this, doing that. And I'm like, man. What I was going to say earlier, though, was that what's crazy is when you're on that ship or when you're on sea duty and you do start to put your family first, you start to put your personal life first, that's looked down upon. Is that factual? It's not. I'm gonna say that's my opinion. That's not opinion of the military.
Shoot him, not me. Nah.
Cause
it is.
It is. Come on, man. If you look like you putting your own self first, they'd be like, "Oh, so you don't care about the Navy?"
The biggest. They say, "Did that come in your sea bag?" I know. I don't know what the Marine equivalent, right? But like, they ain't a list
that
with
come
you.
with your M4?
Right, yeah, right. Yeah, right. So that is right. So one of the things I always stress once I became a position of leadership, I always tell my junior sailors, "Hey, take care of this so it doesn't become a problem later. Go take care of your finances, your wills, your documents, all the stuff you need to while we're in port, and we can get that stuff done so it doesn't become a mission critical problem or something that impedes the mission while we're on deployments, right?" And I think that is a rule that should be given out to, all forms of leadership throughout all the branches, right? So, sea duty for Navy, marriage, I don't know. He gave it a 1 out of what?
half a star.
Half a star
out of 5.
Damn, I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
What?
3.5. Well, and I'm gonna tell you why. We dog marriage out. We dogged it
the
out.
only reason you're giving it 3.5 is for the family separation pay you get.
Nah, don't tell nobody. So marriage is a good thing and it's beautiful when done correctly.
I love it. Factual.
Don't be out here just adding up all the pros and cons and trying to, put it all black and white because it ain't gonna work for you.
Factual.
You need to find your companion, right? And I'm a spiritual person, so I relate it, to my faith, right? He who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. And I tell you, like, that's my road dog, right? Whatever I lack in, she picks me up, right? And vice versa. So make sure whoever you rocking with, They have your back, right? Don't just think of the financial gain, right? You will never win. I heard a lot of the new stuff coming out, right? Like, oh, find you a girl that makes more money than you, and you can come on. It don't work, bro. It doesn't work.
That people make on social media, they making it too much black and white. Way too much black and white, because that's not the case.
You heard the 50-50 debate?
Nah. Yeah. Because it shouldn't be 50-50. It should be 100-100.
Woo!
Sometimes, to keep it a buck.
Yeah.
That's not realistic, because sometimes I can tell you right now, we just had a baby girl, and postpartum is a real thing, and a lot of women can attest to this. When a woman going through postpartum, she's not 100. She's not 100, and that's not a bad thing.
No, that's real.
The body has just went through in my opinion, a supernatural event.
Yeah.
Because the body went through that, the mind went through it as well. The emotions are all over the place. The hormones are everywhere. So no, realistically, you're not gonna be 100. So you need a strong man that's gonna come in, and we're gonna flex to wherever you need us, like a balancing scale. If some weight come off of there, that mean that weight coming right over here.
Facts.
We got it.
Yeah. Facts, right? Yes. That's it. That's the word for it, right? So make sure if you go into your marriage, you know that you got to put in 100. I like that, 100%. Make sure both of y'all going, pick each other up where y'all lacking at. Yeah.
I would tell you real quick on the topic of pregnancy, and we got to touch on that too, slightly, because we're going to have another episode, but like pregnancies in the military, that's a whole nother thing, because it's so many people who either don't see their baby get born because they on deployment.
Oh, okay. That point. Okay.
What?
I thought you were talking about something.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I was like, what is he about to say?
Oh, no. Some people that don't see that, like, this is my from my thoughts. This is nothing pertaining to the military. Yeah. My thoughts are my own.
Right.
I heard a CMC telesailor before. Some of us missed the birth of our kid. You know, just gotta keep pushing forward. That's the mission. Boom, boom, boom. It was like Skip Bayless recently with Damar. That's his name.
Yeah.
I think it's his name. But it was so insensitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's terrible, man. You should never. Those words. And I know we've heard. Man, if we had the comments open to what's the worst thing you've heard while you've been in the military, most insensitive thing, man, the list will go on and on. Yeah. So you should never tell any person that has experienced new life added into their relationship or in their life period, oh, just worry about the mission, you worry about that. Come on now. What happened if the baby ain't make it and you ain't there?
I'm telling you.
Right? Like, come on now. That's terrible.
Yeah, man.
Let me hit on another little topic I wanted to talk about.
Let's get it.
You think the relationships are better between mil to mil or civilian to military?
I think it's pros and cons. I think it's pros and cons. Man, right? So I think in my opinion, it's better to do mil to mil, just because you both have an understanding for the career aspect of being in the military. Understanding for like what goes on. Deployments could get extended. Working hours could get extended. All that jazz. But there's also like cons to that. When you mil to mil, some like if you don't get that spouse co-location approved and somebody's on sea and the other one's on shore, that's tough if both of y'all on sea duty. I've seen it where too. My man's stationed in Virginia, but his lady is stationed in Japan. So he up every day or every night at 3-4 in the morning talking to her. That's a strain on the relationship. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's tough. Those one of those obstacles you got to work through. Shout out to them because they good. They in Cali together now. I was so happy when they got their stuff approved.
Word. So I have seen it work a handful of times. I know a couple people who are mil to mil. If I can say, I think more of them are a disgruntled couple more than anything, and it's just because the stresses of the military are hitting them both, right? So they're both going through arduous duties, and let's be frank about it. Although there are cake commands and assignments, the military itself is arduous, right? The working hours, the demand is still arduous.
I love the word choice,
right? So now you have that both coming into one house and they both dealing with these different factors hitting them, right? And they get disgruntled or they do stupid stuff, right? And I'm not going to expound. I'm not going to give my take, but I just think that that's one of the cons of mill to mill. Mill to civilian, right? One of the pros you have, right? As a military active duty person and a civilian, yeah, they don't know the work schedule, right? But they don't have that experience with the military weighing on their back, right? They don't have that demand, right? And I get it, yeah, wherever you work is gonna have a demand, but it ain't like the military, bro. It ain't like the military. If it was that easy, everybody would be staying in and reeing up, right?
That's a fact.
But it's calling so much for you to physically do and mentally do, so that's a big stressor.
I mean, you're literally, you in a sense, you could say like a product.
Mm-hmm.
Like the military has control over you.
Mm-hmm. Tell you where to go, what to eat.
Right now, if you got the call and it's like, yo, you gotta come in.
Mm-hmm. Right now.
Unfortunate, but that's how it is. So I don't believe it's like any other jobs.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, there might be like a doctor watching this right now. Well, shoot, if I got the call, I got to go in too. But you chose that, right?
Mm-hmm.
People that join the military, they don't have these high demanding jobs. Like I'm a bosun mate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked on the paper and I seen like, oh, okay, you paying, okay, pretty much glorified janitor, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That didn't tell me like, all right, if I get called at 4 a.m, I gotta go into work.
Mm-hmm. We weren't told about that at all until like, as you graduate boot camp. Oh well, yeah, hey, sailor 24/7. All right, get on.
We wasn't told about duty days.
Right. Oh my God.
That is my one plight with the military.
Got us.
Duty day. You want me to come here, work a full day, stay a full night, stay and watches while I'm staying this full night, and then work another full day before I get to go home. Mm-hmm. Biggest plight with the military.
Yeah, that. I haven't stood duty in.
I support it.
Oh wow, yeah.
I support it.
Yeah, we haven't stood duty in a while, but yeah, I think that's like what both of y'all, if mill to mill, both of y'all have duty.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's another like. So I had a personal vendetta against like military relationships. I didn't really take them serious. I didn't see myself really marrying a woman from the military. Not knock against the women. It's just because there are certain things that required us to be like. I kind of had a thing in my head where I wanted a traditional kind of relationship, right? I know it's gonna get me in trouble, but I wanted my wife to stay home and raise the family and cook and clean and stuff. I know people are against it, right? But that's how I had it in my head. And guess what happened though? I got in a marriage and it ain't nothing like that. I'm cooking and cleaning it. So like, yeah, the vendetta I had against mill to mill is unwarranted, but that's what I had, going forward.
I'm gonna ping on that real quick. So you say, traditionally you're gonna get attacked. As a man, right? Having my second child, for me, instinctually, I don't want my wife to work anymore. Not because of what a crazy feminist movement did to make you think there was something wrong with providing for your husband and your family in that way of being in the kitchen or cleaning the house.
Right.
But because I want her to be as stress-free as possible. I'm not saying being at home will be stress-free.
Right.
But if she don't have to worry about the stressors of work, of who's
making
watching
money,
her
right,
baby,
income.
you know what I mean, daycare, all of that.
Right.
I want her as healthy as possible because then our kids are healthy as possible.
Yes. I think that's in our DNA.
Yeah.
To protect and provide and right, like, the brothers I hang around, my circle, we would all, if we were asked, hey, if you could make enough to supplement your wife's income, would you be like, hell yeah. Just have her stay home, hold down the fort. You don't have to worry about work because we all know how stressful that is. And I'm going to tell you, it ain't no cake job watching these kids neither. That ain't no cake job at all. But if I could not work and just take care of the house, oh yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat.
You do that, right?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
You could do that.
Oh yeah.
Passive income.
Yeah, I'm working on it, baby. That's another episode.
We talk about all that. We talk about investing.
We're gonna give y'all
income,
some game, man.
Military advantages, all of that.
Yeah, facts.
But I mean, all in all, what I would say to sum up this talk about marriage in the military, period. A marriage is a understanding between two people.
Yeah.
That's all. It's not what society is telling you. It's black and white. It's this. It should be a man and a woman. It should be this, that, whatever. Marriage is an understanding between two people and having each other's back and showing up every day to do the work. That's all it is.
And I know we're going to get some comments about marriage and the whole I got one of my good friends who's against marriage. He's like, man, if I could just promise that I'll look out for after we get divorced, like we don't need the government and all that. Like, yeah, I get it. One of the things that made me understand that marriage is more than just a piece of paper, right? It's like a promissory note it's a contractual agreement that you have between you and a member of the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you're into, whatever. But both of y'all come down and say, okay, this is what's going to happen in case I die or whatever the case may be. And, you have that agreement, right? So I think prior to, 4 years ago, I wasn't the biggest marriage person, not going to lie to you.
Same
right?
here.
I had to open my eyes and see how both parties can benefit and how, if I wanted to have a family, this is one of the staples to have, in order to raise a functional family, in my opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go back to the meal tip.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on dating inside the same command? Dum, dum, dum.
It's one of those double-edged swords, man, because it's hard to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you probably did already.
Mm-hmm.
You work side by side, somebody that you find cool as hell, like, y'all laugh at the same jokes, y'all both giddy. Every time y'all see each other, it's always good energy. The work could be terrible, but y'all got each other, whatever. Mm-hmm. Eventually, them feelings gonna creep in, like, I want you.
I want you.
And if I like you, and if I want you, we can do this the easy way.
Oh, no. It's a joke. These are jokes. Jokes.
But for real though, it creeps in.
Yeah.
It creeps in, and you like, do you not date the person just because you're on the same? Do you pass up on this opportunity of love?
Yeah. If it's love, whatever, right? I think if it's true love, right? And I believe love is real. Yeah, call me a simp, a sucker, whatever you are.
What is true love?
Right. I believe it's real, right? Love is a feeling, like Mike Jack said, R.I.P. But love is a feeling. And if you have that undoubtable, undeniable feeling, okay, go ahead, go for yours. But in my opinion, don't risk it. Same command, look the other way. Try to avoid it. Right, y'all can hang out, chill, cool, whatever, but
let's be real. Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something I know about women in the military.
Get in trouble.
Do not judge a woman in the military in her uniform.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, a woman in her uniform, she might be a 4 or 5. You got to see her on Friday night, Saturday, outside of uniform.
With the head down, yeah.
With the head down.
Yeah, that makes it just more complicated.
It make it
work
hard.
with.
You might be like, I can't. I looking like a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I need a piece.
Oh my God, we're gonna get in so much trouble, y'all. Oh my God, nah, but yeah, that we've all seen it, right? We've seen it. The new female comes in and everybody's gawking, and we have these sexual assault prevention trainings and all the stuff in the world to teach us how to conduct ourselves. But there's one factor that is going to remain the same. The human factor, right?
Fact.
Right? Attraction will happen. Male to female, male to male, female to female. It's going to happen, right? The issue is when it starts to impede on the mission. Now, if you can have a relationship with someone in the same command, y'all in the, provisions of the ranking system and the, abiding by the fraternization policies and what have you, by all means, whatever floats your boat. But it gets so hard and so tainted, right? Because we have promotion status, we have people who have previous relationships, we have work center environments. Like, there's so many intangibles or so many variables that come into play when we talk about dating in the same command that it gets so mucky. And I did my best to avoid them for a while. I never really got into it with a female from my same command.
Good job. Yeah. Good job. I'm proud of you.
You can't say the same, have you? You damn devil. God,
look at that. I'm feeling attacked this whole podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, yeah, I would say stay away from it unless you absolutely, movie scene type of,
right.
I can't let her go.
She's getting on the train, right? You going to the left?
You know what I
You
mean?
yeah.
If you can't, if it's that, go for it. But if it's not that, then by all means, go ahead, chuck the deuces to that person. Put your career first. Boom,
Facts.
boom.
Yeah, one of the things I want to say, right? So for my younger people in the military, right? We talked about staying focused and staying by yourself, staying single until you've achieved your goals, right? We're not saying be a hermit crab and stay locked in the books. If you could, optimally, yes, you should optimize your time by yourself to work on yourself, right? But love is love. Relationships, we all understand you need, companionship every once in a while. Just be smart with your decisions, right? Do know that there are people out there that are out there to trap you because you have a good paying job and benefits.
Facts.
Right? There are the dependents. I will say it. That's a real thing. Just be very careful and be mindful of who you let into your space, right? Both male and female. You're worth more, right? You're worth more. So just make sure that you know that you're the prize, and you go in every relationship looking like you're the prize.
All right.
Yeah.
And was that the closing remarks?
Yeah, the closing remarks for the day, y'all.
No, that was good. I love them. I love them closing remarks. Bet. Yeah, well, good. I enjoyed this conversation. Reem, take us home.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, I already gave y'all closing remarks and gave y'all the comments. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. We want to hear more from you. We got some other shows lined up, ready to come and give y'all good info. Mm-hmm. We're always going to bring information how to get to the bag. That's right. The boots to get to the bag.
That's right. The bag is yours.
The bag is yours, baby.
We got some merch coming.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
We got some merch coming.
Yeah.
Gonna have exclusive content coming. We always want to get free game here, but you're gonna have to pay a premium because we could get a game here, but then we want to give you the blueprint as well.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So definitely stay tuned.
Those are things to come. Also, if you would like to be on the show, hit us up below. Yeah, but that's it. That's all we got, man. We out.